What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be introducing you to all of my pets. I think I got like 14 pets: turtles, snakes, gecko, dogs, cat, but I'm going to be showing you all of them, starting with these little guys, which if you've watched my past two videos you already know, but if not, go ahead and go back and watch those videos. Show you how to build a turtle pond. I added some fish to it, but figured we start here. That way we go ahead and get what people have already seen out of the way. Alright guys, so I figured we'd go ahead and start with the turtles, get them out of the way. I haven't named any of the turtles yet, but maybe y'all can help me with that. But I'm putting some food in here because usually they're really quick to come out whenever there's food involved. There's one of them right there. That's the biggest one. Like I said, we haven't named him yet. Since they're so small, I didn't want to go about naming them all until they got a little bigger. But if y'all have any suggestions, go ahead and let me know. Yeah, this guy's a little bit bigger, so he's got a lot of his confidence. He's a lot less shy about coming up to get food right in front of me, but they are starting to associate me with food, so hopefully that means that I can start hand feeding them soon, although the little ones are really little, so maybe not them just yet. There's another one. I really want to see all three of them come out, but I don't want to mess with them while they're eating, because then they might not trust me enough to come back out when there's food again. Down there you can see a little rainbow shark. There's a goldfish up under there. Two of them. Rainbow shark. Oh, here's one of the little guys. The littlest one doesn't tend to come out whenever his older siblings do, but oh, that's him right there. That's them. But if you want to see more of the turtles, just hit that subscribe button, go back and watch my last two videos, and turn on your notifications. That way you know when I post, and maybe they'll be in a future video soon. Now before we get on to the reptiles, the rest of them, go ahead and get the dogs out of the way. This is Abby. She's well, she's kind of a mixed breed. We're not really sure what she is. And this is Bubba. He is a troublemaker, and he's also mixed, and we're not really sure what he is. But they're both very friendly and don't like to leave us alone. And this little guy is Franklin. Oh. He screams all the time. Food and attention, that's what he lives for. But let's go check on the rest of the reptiles. Alright. Now, this is Doris the Russian tortoise. Now, she is not very old. She's pretty young. I don't know how old she is, honestly. She is a rescue from a coworker of mine who got her but didn't really know how to take care of her. And I went over to his house one day and saw that she was in a 40-gallon glass aquarium and decided to go ahead and take her home. My coworker's wife at the time decided that she didn't really want her, and so she let me take her, and we've been together ever since. Look at that cute face. Love that cute face. Let her get some water here. Now, excuse the mess. This is kind of my storage room, to be honest with you. But the enclosure she's in, I built myself. It's 5 by 3 foot. And the walls are 18 inches high, so she's not getting out of there. I do plan on adding more to this enclosure, including a couple hides I'm going to end up building. And you're probably going to hear me say that a lot, but I'm going to be adding to or upgrading a lot of these animals because they all more or less need upgrades or something added to their tanks. Just depends on the animal. But
that's Doris. Now she's gonna go bask.
So this is my bedroom, but at the moment it's also my reptile room. At the moment, these are the tanks I have set up. I do have 2 snakes in this rack system right here, but I do want to stress that this is not permanent. They are not in here forever. I'm working on getting them into at least 40-gallon tanks, preferably a 120 like that. But at the moment, they are in the rack system. We will get them out, and hopefully soon. But while we're talking about the rack systems, might as well go ahead and start with the rack system. Now, this is Nero. He is a male lavender albino ball python. He is, I think, coming up on 2 years old now. And he is the sweetest boy, but he is still a little skittish. And I really do want to get him into a bigger tank soon. Honestly, I might upgrade him to a 40 and upgrade a couple other snakes I have to 120s and just put him in their old tanks. But he is not the type to move around a whole lot in a tank. I've tried putting him in a tank before, and he ended up just staying in his hide all day. And I turned around and put another ball python in the exact same tank, did not change the setup, and she moved around using every square inch of the tank. So I'm thinking maybe it's a personality thing, maybe the tank wasn't to his liking, and it is to the other ball python that I'm going to show you here in a minute. But he's not very big, but he's big enough. He is a little skinny, but I'm starting to feed a couple of my snakes 2 times a week just to get them back up to a good weight, and this is one of them. But yeah, that's little Nero. The other snake I have in this rack is a female. You're okay. And she has never quite warmed up to me. Now, I will be upfront and say that I have not held a couple of these snakes as much as I probably should have. And this is one of those snakes. She's very skittish, and she doesn't like to be held all that much. And she has bitten one of my friends, but she's a very pretty snake. I bought some of these ball pythons with the intention of breeding, and you'll notice that when we go through a couple of the ball pythons. The first one was a lavender het for pied, and this one is a mimosa that is also het for pied. She is very pretty though. She has the high white like a pied would, but she is actually not technically a pied. But I'm gonna go ahead and put her up now because she is getting very fidgety, and she is not a fan of being held at the moment. There, go in her hide right there. Over here. Now this next girl is Bugsy. She is a pastel lesser het pied. And what's cool about Bugsy is she's got these really beautiful bug eyes. Really big and beautiful. But she's also got bones all down her back. And she's a little sweeter than the second ball python I showed you, Buttercup, but not quite as sweet as Nero. She is still head shy, but she is a lot more comfortable with me holding her. And she loves to explore. And I'm actually thinking about putting her straight into a 120. She's not very big, as you can see. She just takes up a little bit of space. But she uses every inch of her 40-gallon enclosure. So I'm thinking that she needs to go into a tank where there is lots and lots of room for her to really explore. But she's a sweet girl. Now this is my biggest ball python, Rogue. She is the most food aggressive, and every time I open the tank, even if it's with a hook, she immediately decides that it's feeding time. But let's see if I can get her out of here. Oh, I know, big girl. Okay. Oh, there you are. Spinner. She is a spinner, sugar, het hypo. Spinner being partially the spider gene means that she has a little bit of a neurological issue. Her head doesn't shake, but she does have a problem with staying upright. And she, as long as I've had her, and as much as I've held her, she does not like to be touched at all. I'm only doing this for the video. Most of the time I leave her be, or if I have to clean out the tank, I will get her out. But you can see every time I try to hold on to her, she is trying to get away. She's been like this since I've had her. She was like this the first day I saw her when I bought her from a breeder, and she just does not like to be touched. You can see her head's upside down. She kind of corrects herself sometimes, but you can kind of see a beautiful pattern on her back. Looks like lightning shooting down her back. Let her go back now. Go ahead. She's very sweet, but she does not like to be touched. Now that we've covered all the ball pythons, I say we get on to the boa. Now this is my boa. Her name is Delila. She is an anery het albino. Not really sure what type of albino. At the time that I got her, I did not know there was multiple versions of the albino. And she was just very pretty, and my wife fell in love with her, and we brought her home. She is the sweetest snake that I have. She's very curious, has never even attempted to bite me, not once. People say boas usually go through like a teenage rebellious phase where they try to bite you or get very defensive, but she has not hit that yet. She's still pretty small. And she eats like a champ. I mean, I've never had problems with her eating once. She's pretty great. She is a boa imperator, not a boa constrictor. I know there's supposed to be a difference. I don't know what the difference is, to be honest with you. I'll have to look that up. But I think she is so pretty, and she is one of my prettiest snakes, and she is also one of my best behaved snakes. Oh, she's down my back. And if you are thinking about getting a snake, like a little bit bigger snake, I highly recommend boa imperators. They are so cool, and as long as you handle them well, they'll behave themselves for the most part. Take that with a grain of salt though, because it is case by case basis. But yeah. She's very sweet, and like I said, she's my best behaved snake. She loves to be held because that means she gets to leave her tank and go exploring. She's one of the snakes that I'm thinking about upgrading straight to a 120 because she does tend to use all of this space. And she's growing very quickly now. And our last, but not least, is this leopard gecko. His name is Titan. I just got him recently. Kind of a rescue. He was living in a 10-gallon on paper towels, and he is around adult size. And if I mess with the dirt, he usually comes out. I'm not sure if he's doing it because he's territorial or because he's hungry. He loves his food. He is a bit skittish. He was skittish from when I got him. He just has never let me pick him up. But I don't think he got that much attention before I got him. And so I'm working on building up trust. I constantly put my hand in the tank. I'm constantly moving stuff around. I am getting some tongs with rubber tips on them soon. That way I can feed him by hand. I constantly throw my hands out trying to get him to walk on it. He has tried to bite me before, which is fine. You know, it happens. But hopefully, sooner rather than later, he'll get used to me to where I can pick him up all the time instead of just when I have to. I haven't really been able to pick him up yet because he tends to either run initially or he'll turn around and throw his tail up and start wiggling it around, which from what I've read means that he's trying to bait you into grabbing his tail so that he can drop it, and I do not want him to drop it. That would be terrible. They do grow their tails back, but it never looks the same, and I do not want him to drop his tail. Well, I would like to show y'all what he looks like a little bit better, but well, I said last, but I almost forgot about what's in this tank. This is my Darwin's carpet python, Stevie. Now, Stevie is my spiciest snake. She will bite me all over. I got her to a point once where she was okay with me picking her up, and then probably a handful of times I would get her out and she would be perfectly fine. I wouldn't get bit once. And one day, after all that, she finally bit me again and then proceeded to bite me 14 more times. So I'll be honest, I have not been holding her like I should, but I'm gonna start today trying to pick her up. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to get bit again today, so I'm gonna put on a glove. Hey, sweet girl. Ah, see, she tried to bite me immediately. See, she is not happy. Yep, right there. The glove is too thick for her to actually get through. but that doesn't mean that I want her to have to bite anything. See, I want to pick her up, but she just is constantly trying to bite me. And so it's very hard to get her to a point where she's comfortable with being picked up when she's constantly stressed out, constantly trying to bite. I want to work with her. I want to see if I can get her to let me try to bite me again. It's not going to work. But I don't want to constantly stress her out, have her trying to bite me. Yep, see, doesn't work, does it? So I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna try to get in touch with somebody who can help me. And if any of you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. But I'm kind of hoping that she just grows out of it, gets a lot more comfortable with me as she gets older, gains her confidence, you know. But I don't want to wait that long. I would rather her be comfortable now than later in life. Yep. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for today. Like I said, too much light. Like I said, I do plan on upgrading most of these snakes to bigger enclosures. Some of them I want to make bioactive enclosures, like my girl Rogue over there, which is kind of hard with ball pythons to do because they destroy everything. But it's fine. I'm gonna give it a shot. I gotta build hides for my tortoise Doris over there. Obviously, the snakes in this rack need tanks. Once they get into tanks, the only thing I'm gonna have these racks for are if I decide to breed any babies and if I need to quarantine any animals. Otherwise, they are not going to be in use. Everybody's going to be in a tank. And somebody is still angry. We're going to get you some help, girl. We're going to get you some help. Alright guys, see you later.